What's up? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Myron. Good morning, everyone watching. Happy Friday,
Good
guys.
morning, Oscar.
Today's Friday.
Man, today is Friday, but you know what? This weekend I chose I'm gonna work through this weekend like all the way because we have probably like 15 JV deals, single family that we need to work on. And a lot of people are asking for help or needing help right now, and I want to help them, right? And for y'all don't know, for any new viewers, my name is Myron. We're part of our team. We're part of JBM Legacy. I am a. You know what? Hold on a second. Hey,
Take two.
what's up? My name is Myron. I do capital raising, deal structuring. We love to help people get their first deal or whatever it takes, man. We love to. I said, hold on a second. I need to bring some energy to the table right now, and let's move it up a notch. And let's get some fires in the chat. Let's get our Friday started. Man, it's going to be an amazing weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Bring that energy, Myron. There we go.
Hmm.
Uh, hey, guys, for any of you guys new or watching, my name is Oscar. My girlfriend, Ione, who's not in here at the moment, actually, uh, she's part of the team as well. And you'll see some of the team hop in here in a second, maybe a few others. But I work really close with Myron in what we do in multifamily. We both do deal structure and capital raising, and we also we meet with people every single day. So if you're new, you're in this chat, and you want to chat with us, JBM, and see if there's a way that maybe we can partner up in the future or opportunities for you, please let us know. We'd like to meet you guys one on one. That's what we do. Myron and I like to meet everyone, and we want to help. We want to also give opportunities where many others don't have opportunities. So, a little bit about JBM. Gosh, actually, let me just go over some of the stuff we've done this week, because that's in itself, Myron. It's been,
I don't
it's
know. This
been,
week was epic.
yeah, um, dude. Um, Jake and Gino, it's only been a few, well, last weekend, but it seemed like it's been a month now.
A lot of
For
stuff happened.
Yeah. So Jake and Gino was a multifamily event that happened last weekend in Orlando, Florida. And so myself, Myron, and Joseph went to the event. So it was the boys' trip, is what the ladies say. It was a boys' trip, and that event was was really good because we went there on a mission, guys. We went there on a mission, and our mission was to go and network, strictly network. That's it. So it's kind of bad to say, but I don't think, Myron, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we spent any, if any, just a little bit of time inside the event, like actually listening to the speakers
Speakers,
and
yeah.
what they had to offer. Most of the time was spent where the action was, which was out in the hallway.
The hallway always had at least probably 40 people just networking. They had like vendors out in the hallway and at least 40, sometimes like it felt like 100 or 200 people just in the hallway. And I felt a little like this much guilty. Those speakers took their time to come in and speak to us, but like Oscar said, we had a mission, and our mission was to do what? Raise
Raise capital.
money,
Yeah.
raise capital, because that's what's gonna accelerate us doing more deals. Right, Joseph?
100%.
Love it.
More money, more deals.
It was good. It was
Deals,
good,
more money.
guys. I think let's talk about kind of what we took away from the event, because I know we did a lot of networking, and for me particularly, what I took from that event was how some people came up to us and they've been watching us on YouTube, or they've been watching us on Facebook, or even in our Zooms on Fridays that we do. And they, one particular person, we all know who it is, came up to us and told us, "Man, you guys are inspiring me, inspiring your community. The only reason I'm here at this event was because of you guys." And that was one of the biggest takeaways that I got from there. It was like a proud father moment, proud parent moment. It was awesome, just to see that what we're doing, giving back to you guys, to the community, how much impact it's done, and we're not stopping, guys. We're going to keep giving back to you guys, and hopefully at least a couple of you in here, or maybe everyone in here, can get that knowledge or take action, whatever it needs to get their first deal, because we were able to help you guys, and that's what we're here. That's what we're here to do. But that was my biggest takeaway, man. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I would say I'm right there with you, man. It was very cool to, finally like meet these people face to face rather than just being a name on the chat room, or a face on the Zoom, right? It's different when you're out of the little box, right, and you're in person, right? It's so much easier to build rapport and have a good experience. And I'm thankful for everybody that we met there. And if we met you guys there, you know who we were talking about. We appreciate y'all being there and coming up and saying hi. It was a great experience. Just all in all, the entire event was fantastic. And honestly, I think this is the first event that I really didn't watch any speakers. We just sat in the hallways the entire time, just networking. So we were either eating or networking. That was all we did all weekend. And there was multiple times where we were eating quite a bit. Right, Myron?
I got to get my meals in, man.
100%.
Like me if I don't.
Hey, I don't doubt it, man. I'm the same way. I gotta have my food. If I don't have, you should have saw me when they brought out the snacks in the hallways. I loaded up. I had like 6 little the fruit snacks. I mean, not the fruit snacks,
Snack
the
bar
little
things.
bars, fruit bars, and like the chewy bars, the granola things. I was stocked up. I had them ready to go. Any occasion, I had them in my pocket.
Here's the thing, and Joseph just putting them in his bag.
He's standing right there. He grabs him.
Asking the other person, "Hey, you gonna take that?" No, okay.
Yeah, y'all should have saw me at I guess lunch. I felt bad because like I'm the only one eating appetizers. Like I'm not afraid to eat. I'm not afraid at all. But I was trying to like, hey, I want to make sure you guys all have the opportunity. And everyone was like, trying to be the nice guy. Like, oh no, it's all right, man. You can eat. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna ask again. I'm just gonna eat it. So. But no, we're getting sidetracked here. The event, guys, it was awesome. What I took away is that the true action, the true value from going to these events, once you're outside of, being the newbie, the green person, the green thumb, right? That, hasn't really done a lot. Once for those people, it's very, very informative, very good stuff to go to the event, listen to the speakers, right? But once you get past kind of that initial stage, this is not necessarily new stuff to you anymore. You've been to a couple events. The best thing to do is go stand in those hallways and talk to as many people as you can. We met so many different people with so much different value. We met key principals. We met people that really just put in money. We met people on all the spectrums, right? We had people in self-storage units, people in single family, people that are starting out in multifamily, people that are multifamily experts. Like there's all kinds of different people. We met some guy that's cost segregation. I learned so much about cost segregation talking to this dude for 5 minutes. And at first he kind of was like standoffish. He actually was like, "Hey, you can't sit there. I'm saving a seat." And I was like, "Oh, okay, my bad."
Wasn't
So I
that
walked
at
around.
the table?
Yeah, it was our table. We were kind of like posted at this table the whole event. That's where we were, right? Never more than like 20 feet away from it for like I would say like 70% of the event, just because it was a spot to put all our stuff, you know. But then he comes up, sits down, and kind of claims the chair that I was sitting in. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go sit back down. You know, I'm kind of done talking. And he was like, no, you can't sit there. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So I walked around and sat down, and he could tell that I was kind of like annoyed that he did that. So he's like, hey, you know, I apologize about how that came off. He's like, my name's Mark. Good to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And from that conversation, so much value came out of that. You know, had I reacted as if like screw this dude, you know, he pissed me off, it was kind of rude. You know, I would have not have learned all this value that I learned from this guy. And it was.
Can you give us a little nugget?
He did. He did. He gave us a lot of
Can you
nuggets.
give us a nugget?
Well, yeah. Will I give you guys one? Okay. So you can on cost segregation for all of you that out there that have single family, you can actually do cost segregation on your single family properties as well. Um, One guy told me if it's less than 100,000, this is a different dude. If it's less than 100,000, it's not really worth it. This guy told me he's like, I wouldn't even bother with it unless it's 500,000 or more. If you have more than 500,000 in single family assets, it's definitely worth it.
Got it.
He also said that pretty much every dollar amount that you pay towards the property, right? It's not based on what it's valued at, it's the dollar amount that you're putting in. So the purchase price, any capex, literally every single dollar, whether it's as simple as just coming in and replacing a HVAC unit, right? That would count towards all of that can be counted towards your cost segregation, and you're able to basically write all that stuff off and get a lot of tax benefits for these different things. So I highly recommend you reach out to a cost segregation expert, someone that does it, and get more information.
Can you be the cost segregation expert for just one question for me?
Yeah,
Is it purchase price plus capex XYZ, right?
Mhm.
So what if I buy a house on seller finance at 500K?
Same deal, right? So my understanding, right? Don't disclaimer. I am not the cost segregation guy. Consult them. Yes, it is on the property in the building. It's not the land. It's just the purchase price towards the property. Thank you, Tech. So my understanding, it's the amount that has actually been paid. So on a seller finance, you wouldn't be able to write it off right away. But here's the thing. He also said that you can backdate it. Let's say you bought a property in 2017 and you just found out about it now. You can actually go and have that applied to that property from your 2017 purchase, whatever it is, right? It can be backdated. He said it's a little bit more costly because it's more work to do it, but he charges a flat fee. It's not based on percentage, so that's also pretty good. But I don't know. Those are just a couple of the nuggets. I'm going to set up another call with him to talk further about it. That hopefully all three of us can be on it.
Nice.
But just this was a 5-minute conversation, right? And I learned a lot more than just that. But 5 minutes talking to this guy, like he was waiting for somebody else, and we just happened to be right there at that table that he was waiting. So,
Cool.
and it all came from just saying hi. What's going on, man? How are you?
That's cool. The biggest thing that I got from the whole deal was that we have the capability of affecting people's lives. And my little tagline I got was inspiring others to action. Like Oscar said, we had one guy who has been following us who signed up for sub 2 and then came to the event because of us, right? We had somebody else that I met at the Dallas event, Brad Sumrock, who then left Brad Sumrock's event, went back home to Ohio, and she started her own community. Something else. Hold on. I have somebody else that we're going to bring on that you all are going to love. like absolutely fall in love with, who is going to I don't know how to keep this vague. Just wait. Like literally we are changing lives. And I'm just so like I think we're all so proud of not only each other but the people that we're inspiring. Like nothing charges me up more than hearing those stories. Myron, what you all doing, what you, your wife, uh, Oscar, Aoni, Joseph, what you guys are doing are there's we're taking action because of you. I'm done. That's all I need. I need $1 million too, but like that's man, that is really what makes this thing that drives me more than anything else is when I see other people pushing and doing big things. And yeah, Victor brings it right here. Massive action. Also someone who's taking massive action, right? Love seeing you, Victor. But that was my biggest takeaway, is that we are truly inspiring others. And it means a lot to me. That's it.
Man, inspiring words, Myron. I think, Myron, it's also, you said like people taking massive action, and also like big things are happening. Joseph, me and you witness Myron get spotlighted at the event, and JBM to put it as a team, right? But
Yeah,
how amazing, Joseph, was it to see that our team was spotlighted by Pace himself at the Brad Sumrock, and how that make you feel, Joseph? And then we'll get to Myron and interview him here in a little bit.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. It was awesome. And the best part, it was not once, but twice. Both the Brileys, man. I know I'm getting ahead of you a little bit, but holy crap, man, we must be doing something right. Like, for one, to be highlighted in front of what, 500, 1,000 people, it was a good amount. Um, and for him to just call you out, he's like, Myron, this is Myron's deal. Where's Myron? I need Myron. All right. And he stops his whole presentation, his whole thing, to wait for Myron to stand up and point him out in the crowd. And immediately after that, so here's the thing. Immediately after that, people wanted to talk to him, and us by association, because we were all a team, right? But people wanted to talk to Myron. Huge leverage right there. Huge. Thank you, Pace. We appreciate it. We really do. And then Myron, this guy, I have not seen this dude lit up like this guy looked like a Christmas tree. He was so lit up. He was so giddy. I love it, man. It was cool to see that, man, because your whole like your whole aura changed, bro. You went Super Saiyan on us. That's what happened. He was already before attracting people. He's like, I'm gonna put out the Myron aura, and he just stands there like this, waiting. And people would show up every single time. I don't know how he did it. But then he went Super Saiyan after Pace did that, and people just started flocking by the masses. It was amazing. Super cool, super cool. I'm so proud of you, man.
Yeah, same here. And it to see afterward, or even during, like whenever they spotlighted Myron, everybody's head just turned, right? And even the guy like right next to Myron, a couple of seats down, was like, who am I sitting next to? You know?
Mhm.
It's like
exactly.
that incredible feeling of like, man, from where we went, guys, to not doing anything in multifamily, to that event. And then we'll talk about the next one, but to that event, and the magnitude of how, if like, it was a game changer is what I'm trying to say. It was awesome. And then afterward, Myron you're right, Joseph. He was lit Christmas tree, man. Like the aura that he had was just like, damn, like who is this guy? Like people are probably shaking his hands like, Myron, why didn't I meet you before? Or like, hey, Myron, how are you? So anyway, go ahead, Myron. You go throw in your your feedback and everything that happened in your perspective?
Pace was like, hey, you want to go up on stage? I was like, yeah, I'll go. I'm ready. I did not go up on stage. But what I love so much is what Pace to me, he thinks of things in different ways, right? And we all had a chance to talk to him. Like we basically walked him back to his room and gave him a hug good night, right? Before his talk. And I asked him a question like, I've never seen you speak. Like, I'm so excited to see this. And is it a funnel for students or what is it? He's like, no, you've never seen me speak? No. Really what I think is the same thing is like inspiring others to action, but like highlighting people to change their life. He does that in the mentorship on all the Zooms. That I think that's part of what his thing is. It's like, I want others to succeed because it probably is that same emotional income, right? That we want. And I really think that's the reason why he did that. So we, that 30 units that we closed out in Corpus Christi, Oscar felt something and he goes, I got to get Myron on this call. And we end up closing the deal, 30 units on seller finance. And there was a Zoom where Pace got on with the seller and us, and he took a screenshot, like it was a really funny screenshot of us. And he put that up in front of everybody at this conference and talked about the deal. But afterwards, a guy came up to, I really need to talk to you. And it was a guy that we had just been talking to that kind of just walked up and shoot, what was his name?
I want to hear you say it again.
It was that guy. Shoot, I don't remember.
Something though.
Yeah, and I'll look it up. But
I got his number. Hang on, I'll find it.
He just kind of like stepped into our conversation, and we're talking about that one lady who was starting up her own community. He was just like there, and he didn't know who we were or anything. Hold on, I gotta fix something for my kid. No. Oh, I got you here, like that.
His name was Bernadou.
Bernard. What I called him something really messed up.
Or is Bernardo? That's what it is.
Bernardo.
Okay, Bernadou is what you call him. That's what it was.
Bernadou guy.
Bernardo. Sorry, man. Sorry, bro.
That's my fault. Yeah. Anyways, he wanted to talk to us about seller finance after Pace's talk. But then some other people in the conference were like, we need to talk to them because we have a deal that kind of needs some structuring help. And so like think about what Pace is doing there. I think he's still creating funnels, but like Myron and that team gets a deal and they can bring it to me, right? So I'm gonna highlight Myron and the team as seller finance gurus. Basically, they can close your deals and bring it to Pace, right? Because really, I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to do deals together. We want to make money together. But man, all of that emotional income is really what's fulfilling. And I think for Pace as well, that's really where he gets fulfilled, seeing other people succeed. But afterwards, you all interviewing me, I don't know what level I was on, but it was up there. Thank you guys for your support. And because I would not have done that. I would not have like, hey, let's do a live right now. I was like fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was cool. Like some guy from Kansas City, Missouri needed our help. And I was like, where's Oscar? We need to talk about Kansas. Like, I love Kansas City, man. I think that's why we love Knoxville as well. Like it reminds us of Kansas City so much. But it was a great event, and it was even better hanging out with you guys. Like what I think is so cool too is like we had no tiffs, we had no like problems, we had nothing bad to say. I mean, unless you guys are saying shit behind my back right now, but like, sorry for cussing. Like I didn't feel any like, man, you know what? Like realize what we're doing. We're going to events, we're spending, like we slept in a studio apartment and we toughed through it with lack of sleep, lack of, no, we didn't have lack of food, lack of sleep.
Lack of water is what you mean.
Yeah,
lack of water.
Really. Right. And like zero issues. Zero. Unless you all want to like, hey Myron, by the way, you're an asshole. But
no, man, you were cracking us up. You had some jokes. You were I was dying. It was hilarious. And I want to say it. We rotated the couch. Each one of us slept on the couch one night.
I did it the least. I only got 3 hours on it.
Bro, but you came in at 6 a.m, so like that was rough by itself.
These guys were running on fumes. We all were, but it was hilarious because we didn't even hear Myron come in the day that he got in. He got in like around 6 a.m. I didn't even hear him, and I was laying down, and I got up and I look around, and I'm like, "Is Myron here?" But I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. It's like I don't see him, so he must still be out. So I give him a call, and no one's picking up, or no one's texting, no one's replying back. So I'm like, "Where's Myron?" It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I see a message come in from Carolyn that says, "Did Myron make it in?" And I answered the question. I said, "No, he's not here yet." And she's like, "What?"
She's freaking out.
Yeah, I think I freaked her out. So I got up and I was like, "Wait, let me go check because let me put my glasses on. I can't see." And then I see like Myron curled up on the couch there, and I'm like, "Oh, he is here." I text her back, "Wait, he's here."
Like, I should have texted, but I wasn't going to start texting people at 5 a.m. That was my bad.
I was like, "It's been a long night."
It was a little backstory. We got our flights. I think Oscar was the only one that made it with no delays, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But my flight got delayed 5 times that night. And I don't know how many times Myron's got delayed, but it was just one thing after another, one thing after the other. And then to even more so, when I was flying back, my flight got delayed again. So disclaimer, don't fly Frontier. It sucks. Man, but yeah, what a day, man. What a day. We were exhausted. We were so tired. This is what I mean by we didn't miss a meal. We were so tired. We slept in till I think like 11. Like we didn't even go. The event started at 9, guys. We didn't even get there until like 11:30. And what did we do when we first got there, guys? What was the first thing we did? You got it. We went straight to go find some food. We did not go to the meetup. It's like, if we go walk in there right now, we are not going to make it. We're not going to have. And I'm glad we did, because we ended up networking until like 1:30 that night. We didn't get back to the Airbnb until 1:30. So I'm so glad that we did do that. But it was, it was a good trip, guys. A good trip. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Hey, I'll be right back. I need to grab my charger.
Okay.
1 second.
So I'll go ahead, Oscar.
No, I just wanted to say, like, after Myron got highlighted that day, that the guys from Kansas City came up to him, and they were like, he was like, "Oscar, where are you at?" And he brings me into the conversation. And you were there. You were listening to the conversation too. And the guys had a like a hybrid type of deal, right? Like a loan assumption and seller finance. And we're sitting there and we're listening to everything, and it's checking off all the boxes for our buy box, right? Like, I don't know how many, I think 80 plus units or something like that. Loan assumption with a great rate, open to seller finance, the lender is open to having a second position lien. And we're like, guys, this sounds like a deal. Like, if you don't want it, we'll take it.
That was the first thing I said. I was like, man, can I buy it? I was ready to go. I was sold already. I didn't need to hear anymore.
Yeah. And so whenever like we heard what their little dilemma was, like in my head, it clicked immediately, like the structure. And Myron did too. And we were both like, we already know what to do with this deal. Like, guys, if you can't get it across the finish line, think about us. But
We need
it
to buy
was,
that.
yeah, it was a slam dunk deal. So I'm just saying that because as soon as Myron got highlighted or spotlighted at the event, those guys came to him and they were asking him for help. How can I structure this?
You know,
And that's the power that Pace basically, by spotlighting Myron, that's what happened. Just magnified Myron, and everybody was like, "Hey, like creative guy, seller finance guy, Myron, where are you at?" They were seeking him out. But yeah, go ahead, Joseph. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that the guy's brother was the guy that was sitting right next to Myron.
Yeah.
That's how you knew who to come talk to. He was sitting next to you, and so I turned it when Pace called you out and you stood up. I turned and he looked right at you, like memorizing your face to come like find you later. And then I come back and see that he's talking to you with his team now. So he probably went to go find his partners, his brother and his other partner, and probably grab them and say, "Hey, I know this guy. Like we gotta go talk to him, right?" And that's probably what happened. Or I think Jose. Where's Jose? There he is. I see him in the chat. I know Jose brought you into that conversation too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure
Yeah,
out
my
who's
guy
that.
Jose. What a good dude. What a
I
good dude.
know.
He's got some crazy stories, but what a good dude.
Shout out Jose. Thank you for your hospitality, man. You were
Yes, yes,
definitely helping us out there. So shout out to you and I appreciate you, bro.
100%. Let's talk about Carolyn, guys. I was not there, so I want to hear you guys talk about it again.
By the way, Carolyn is a life coach. She has all weekend she's doing like 8-hour days on training. So she's upping her training on life coach. She's doing it right now. That's why she's not on our live. But yeah, Oscar, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'll give you my perspective, but I really want to hear yours because you're the proud hubby at the event. But I'll give you my perspective because um, maybe you should go first, bro. I really want you to go first. I don't want to spoil anything. This is y'all's moment.
Okay.
Why don't you go first?
Trying to find this Kansas City guy real quick.
Yeah, I would talk about it,
What's
but
wrong
I
with
was
that
just
thing,
sitting
bro?
at the airport the whole time, man.
Yeah,
It was
good
rough.
idea. So we put out a couple pieces of content on Instagram, the Carolyn Myron Instagram. Carolyn got the opportunity to go on stage and have her first speaking engagement. And this is going to come so much better from her. But basically what happened was Pace, Vina Jetty was doing a speaking engagement here in Dallas with the Sicilian brothers. And one of them called Pace and said, "Hey, yeah, we're having a meetup." And they've been longtime friends. And he goes, "Well, I want to come support Vina." He goes, "Well, do you want to speak?" Yeah. So all of a sudden, Pace is added to that lineup. And Pace goes, text Carolyn. Hold on. Pace texts Carolyn and says, "Hey, I'm gonna give you 7 minutes on stage." Is that it? Okay. And so her mind exploded, right? Like, oh my God. Carolyn, again, she's going to say this better than me. She would not ask to do this. She would not say, "Hey, I want to go up on stage. I want 1 minute on stage." No. Like, put me in the back, right? I don't want anybody to see me. Like, that's her level. Pace said, you're doing it. You have 7 minutes. And it was like, okay, I got to do it. I think what the switch was is like, I'm doing this for us, right? Not self-serving, but for us and to help others. And so she had 7 minutes. Pace gave his praises, right? Because Carolyn has helped so many people just break through some mindset stuff, right? You know how it's starting in real estate. It's really a lot of mindset to get started, where you're not good enough at first, and then blah blah blah. But she spent a lot of time with a lot of people, and so I think that's why Pace offered that, is like, hey, come on up. And she talked about the 3 things she wished she knew when she got started, and the number one thing is working with other people. And I think we should maybe let her finish this out, but that, you know, we'll put out some content. Bob asked, is it recorded? And what is Pace's guy's name? Eric recorded it. So it did get recorded, and we'll be putting out content. But what I thought it was so cool afterwards, a lot of people approached us. I know a lot of people approached Oscar, and just like, how can we work together? How can we work together? And I think it helped our Dallas group. Like Dallas sub 2 got a little stronger with that meetup, and it wasn't even a sub 2 meetup. Afterwards, all the sub 2 family got up on stage and took a picture. And like, how powerful is just that, to go to somebody else's meetup and we all get on stage in a different mentorship. We all get on stage and take our picture. Like, what pompous buttholes. But like, I thought it was amazing. I had so much fun. I know Carolyn, one last thing. God, she got up there and she did not seem nervous a speck. And she didn't, I don't even think she said one time. And I would have been saying like every other word. You know what I mean? Man, I'm just so, I think we're all so proud of her, and the short notice part of it too. I think that's probably a good thing, but she got up there and she just killed it. It was amazing. That's all I got.
Agreed.
Just wish I could have been there, man. That sounds awesome.
No, it was good, man, because the stage had at least 100 people. I'm not the stage, sorry, the audience was at least 100 people, and easily, because it's always bad to say, but I think Myron touched on it. Sub 2 kind of took over that meeting.
Always happens.
Always happens. And so there was a lot of people in the audience when Pace was up there. And so when Pace asked Carolyn to come up on stage, like, everyone was there. It was a full house. And Carolyn did such an amazing job. Like, it almost seemed like she had been doing this for years, bro. Like, handled everything so well, and her story and everything she talked about resonated with people big time. Like, you could see people, like, you know, when you're at church and you're getting a great sermon and you're feeling the energy, you know, it was like that, you know, it was like you're feeling the energy. I was like, man, I can relate to her, you know, I can relate to Myron and her. Like, that's where we're at, you know. Anyway, she did such a great job that like, the team itself was just on fire that day, Joseph. Like, it was on fire.
As the picture of all the sub 2 students up on stage. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. So no, I just wanted to say that is like, man, proud moment, right, for the team. And I couldn't imagine how proud Myron must have been to see, you know, his wife on stage and talking to all these people. So that's why I wanted you to go first, because I wanted you. It would have been a proud moment for you, you know, as a husband. You know, like, damn, like, that's my it's my wife up there, you know.
Hey, I'm proud just to be a team member. Like, this is awesome, man. I love it, guys. I'm so glad that we're getting traction. We're moving. We're on freaking stages at this point. Like, that's back to back, 2 days in a row that happened. You get shouted out at one event, and then you hop on the stage the next event. Like, yeah, I would not have seen that coming at all. At
Me
all.
either.
Super exciting stuff, guys.
And by the way, today we had a meeting, and Joseph led the meeting called Freedom Fridays, and he played this video that basically said no excuses. Like if you want to do what you want to do, you can't make up excuses. The only person who's stopping you from doing that stuff is you. And that
Yeah.
same day that Carolyn was on stage, Joseph, Myron, and myself were flying back home from Florida. And Myron and I, we said we were going to be there, but we could have easily made up an excuse not to go because flight delays or we woke up early or we're tired, whatever it may be. But we were literally in Orlando that same morning, and we were in the Dallas meetup that same night.
Yep.
And we were so happy that we were there. I mean, just as soon as Carolyn, same thing happened, Myron. Like, well, kind of. I think people already knew us very well at the DFW meetup on Monday, but as soon as Carolyn got spotlighted, it was like magnified right after that. Like, hey, how can I work with you? I even had a person tell me that they just want to work with us. Like they want to, like insisting that they want to do a deal with us,
That's amazing.
bro. So for you guys watching here in the audience, thank you so much for everything that you guys do to show and support love or support us and show us the love. We want to say thank you. I know there's a few familiar faces that are watching who are always supporting us, and I know there's some people that might be lurking in the back that may not want to say anything. And we thank you too, because I think I remember someone coming up to me and say, hey, I've been watching you guys, but I don't really say anything, but I'm still inspired by what you guys are doing. So thank you guys for watching us. Thank you for all the support. If you guys have any questions or want to reach out to us, I'll put our website in the chat. We also have the Zoom coming up here in a little bit at 12 p.m. Right? It's 12, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
12 p.m. And we're going through some stuff for broker breakdown type of Zoom for some of the newer people that may be joining us, because our audience has expanded a little bit. So we want to make sure we cover our bases for some of the newer people. And it'll still be good for those of you guys who are doing it now, just to get some more experience on it, because we are going to ramp up our underwriting Zooms here in a little bit.
Yeah. I do want to talk about one last thing before we hop off of here. And I want to talk about yesterday, Oscar. Just the whole day in general. Like we did a lot yesterday. I guess let's start with collectively. Let's talk about the properties. We won't give any specifics because it's still, we're still looking at it, still trying to actually get the property. But what was cool is that the whole reason that we were even there is because our all-star broker team, y'all know who they are, Zach and Carrie, they asked us to come there. They said, hey, we're gonna be down in Houston looking at a couple properties. Do you guys want to come? Right. And they wanted us to come for two reasons. One, because we built up a relationship with them. And I can't stress how important relationships are in this. But because we have a good relationship with them, they felt comfortable with us, just being there in general. And then the other reason they wanted us to come is because they know that we know our stuff. They have been following and seeing what we're doing, and we've been working with them closely. And they know that we are capable of providing help, providing support in whatever aspect they needed in it, right? And we went in as a cash deal, I believe. And I could be mistaken, but from my understanding, we went into it as a cash deal. We were looking at a cash property. And by the time we left, it was a seller finance deal completely. It's a development project. I don't know anything about development. Oscar, I mean, I don't think any of us know anything about development. But what's great is that Carrie He has 40 years of development experience. So that makes me very confident in taking on a project like that. Um, because we have someone with that experience, somebody that could lead that charge, right? That's incredible. And the reason I'm pointing it out is you want to find people that you're comfortable with, you feel confident in, and that have different experiences or strengths than you, so that way you can lean on and rely on these people. And that's every business, not just multifamily, not just real estate. That's every single business out there. You want to find your complementary color, so to speak, right? You want to find those people. And I just, Zach and Carrie, thank you guys so much for bringing us out there. It was a fantastic experience. Guys, I can't wait to show this property. Like, I'm super excited about it. I hope that is something we can move forward with because it's on the water. It has lakefront access, and even better, it's 17 minutes from my house. So like it's right down the road. And honestly, if we get it, I'm pretty confident that we will. But you're gonna see me chilling out on that pier, just fishing. I'll have a new fishing spot. I can go just park a boat and leave it there. Like I'm so excited to have this property. I really am. So that's just the first one. We went and saw another one too, but that one just doesn't get me as hyped as this one does, to be honest. And it's funny, Oscar. Tell them what we were thinking when we found out what property we were going to and the number of units and everything. I don't want to talk about everything, but take that part.
For the first one?
Yeah, for the first one.
Yeah, for
What
the
were we
first
thinking?
so we were asked to go to Houston with Zach, and we really didn't know what we were going to expect for the first one. I know we just it was close to Joseph, and so that's why we were going to go. And it was an opportunity for us to get more experience and kind of help out where we needed, because they asked us for help, and we were not going to say no. They were rock star brokers, so we're going to go. But when I looked at it, I didn't know how many units. I didn't know what the whole situation was. We just know that I think Carrie wanted to take a look at this particular property. So we looked and saw that it's 12 units. And so right off the jump for us, if you guys have been watching us, you know that 12 units isn't in our buy box. So we were like, okay, cool. So maybe they're just here for support. Maybe they need us to help with feedback or whatever it might be. But we're still here to help no matter what. So we start taking a look at it, and then we realize what it actually was. It's a development type of opportunity to add an additional 80 plus units, which will total out to like I think 96 or something like that.
98 total.
98
and
total.
that is in our buy box.
That is in our buy box. Until we heard some of the things, because we were talking to the broker, the listing broker that was there. Me and Joseph were just kind of looking around, doing our thing, looking at a unit. And out of nowhere, we both hear owner financing from the broker's mouth. And so
I was like,
exactly. Exactly. And I pulled Joseph aside because I wasn't listening to the entire conversation, but I was like, hey, did you hear her say something about owner financing? And he goes, yeah, I think so. It was some context, but I was like, okay, cool. And then I pull Zach aside and I'm like, hey, Zach, do you mind if I ask you some questions? I just want to get to know this a little bit more and see what opportunities there are here. He goes, yeah, bro, take it away, man. That's why you guys are here. Just ask whatever you want. I was like, perfect. I was telling Joseph, I was like, I'm gonna go talk to her real quick and see what's going on. And so we're talking to her and we're getting the scoop on everything. And I asked a simple question, guys. Like one question that you should be asking every single broker or seller that you talk to. Do you know, Miss Broker, if the sellers are open to seller finance? And what do you think they said? They said, yes, they are open to seller finance. So this deal went from not in our buy box to, okay, I think we've got something here, guys. We're super stoked. They're open to seller finance. They own it free and clear. So long story short, we get back in the car to debrief with Carrie and Zach, and we're all pumped. Every single one of us, including Zach. Like Zach was super pumped. And we went from, okay, we're here to help, to like, dude, let's go. Let's get a meeting, man. Let's talk to the sellers and let's get this thing under contract, because it was such a great opportunity that nobody else had seen, and we were in there and we were able to help out. So it was a great walkthrough yesterday. Both of them were really good, but we were super excited after this one.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Why are there no fires in the chat? What the heck? What? You guys, come
They're
on.
just not pumped, man. They're just not pumped. You
They
gotta
can't
love
even type. They're frozen.
the seller finance, man. I love it. And for context, what she was talking about when our ears perked up, I heard what she was talking about. She was talking about buying the property in cash, and then as a way to make money while you're doing the development, she was talking about selling the individual condos on seller finance. That's what she was talking about. Like, so that was a strategy that I guess she had come up with for a way for a buyer for it to make sense. So we heard that and like, okay, they said it, they're talking about it. Let's figure out what we could do with this, right? And Oscar, tell everybody the sexy part about the potential terms, right? What are the legs on this deal?
Oh man, so
I haven't heard this yet. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's
had,
good, dude. It's good.
I had talked to the broker, and I asked them, "Has the seller talked about terms for the seller finance?" And the broker said, I think what they care most about is who the new owner would be and what their intentions are for this project." And I was like, okay. And then the broker was telling me that the P&L is not accurate. The P&L shows numbers from previous brokerage that had it under with them. So he's like, disregard the numbers, but there's no restrictions for short-term rentals on this property. It's zoned for multifamily, so you can do short-term rentals. And she gave me a the gross income that it would do on just short-term rentals, which was pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but I told her, I said, Miss Broker, we underwrite everything on long-term numbers all the time. So anything that's short-term rental would just be a cherry on top. And they understood that. They didn't resist. They were like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. And then I said, here's what I'm thinking for the terms, because this is a development project. The development's going to take at least a minimum of 2 years. And top of that, once these buildings are up, we're going to have to put a property management company in place, and they're going to have to fill it up. So it's going to take even longer than that if you look at it at the long term, right? So what I propose, and this is very early, is why don't we talk to the sellers and have them do a seller finance play, but defer the payments until we get stabilized and have it up to a certain occupancy rate. That way we're making income, and that way we can go start paying them off at that point. Payments start because now we're making an income. And that made sense to the broker. And the broker was like, yeah, I think that'll work.
Yo. And if it's not concrete, guys, so don't get like too hyped. But the fact that we didn't get the door slammed in our face on that one, that's awesome. Amazing. Right. So there's motivation, there's pain. A little backstory, the previous agent on that property, the previous broker, was making up showings. That's so she got fired. Like that person was a joke. I'm glad they fired him. They weren't doing them any justice, right? But so they have motivation. So we're super excited to proceed with this one and hop on the phone with the seller. I think we have a call later with Zach and Carrie to kind of game plan later today. So
yeah, and by the way, Zach is saying that the upside for this deal is 18 million for this deal.
Guys, put some fires in the chat for that. So on top of being on the lake, on top of being able to get the seller finance, the super sexy seller finance terms, on top of the good location, like it's literally right off the freeway. You can get to anywhere you need within like 10, 15 minutes. Like it is a really good opportunity. And on top of all of that, you're still getting what'd you say? 18 million? Oh my gosh. Wow. So we're
What I
super
think is so
excited.
cool is the baseline we have on creative finance, the level of, I guess you could say, education, like mixed with the education of multifamily, and Oscar's able just to go up and say, like with confidence, are they interested in terms, and be able to negotiate. Well, once we start making money, you'll start making money too. And the confidence to ask that question. And I think that's a lot of the whole thing is just, this is how we can structure this. Okay. And just having the cojones to walk up and ask the question. I think that's like just half the battle. You got to execute on the plan, right?
Yeah.
But that's just a lot of it. Just ask.
Yeah, and I have one more idea, one more nugget that I'll leave with you guys that Ione and I and Joseph and KJ also talked on the phone, is we could do this. It depends on the project. Now, I'm not a developer, but we can do this in phases if we needed to. Phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1 being, let's bring one building up first, do it quick, and start filling that one up. Phase 2, let's start doing the next, because there's 2 buildings for that particular property that they would build on there. Build a second one on phase 2 and start leasing that one up. So that way you're getting income from one, and then you'll start getting the other income from the other. So that way they can speed up the process. So that's another strategy I was thinking. But again, this is all preliminary. It was just in the zone, Myron. I heard seller finance. I was like, how can we structure it? Let's make it work.
Love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was. Thanks again, Zach and Carrie. We appreciate you guys bringing us along. That was an amazing experience, and just hanging out with you guys. It was a good time. It really was. I have one quote from this morning's meeting that I'd like to share with everyone, but if we're all finished. Do you guys have anything else left to say?
I'm good. Let's go for it.
Okay. So we're going to end it on this, guys. This is a quote from the No Excuses video I played this morning. I want y'all to really let this sink in because it is so true. And here we go. All right. Excuses sound best to the people that made them up. Think about that. I'm going to say it again. Excuses sound best to the people that made them up. Really think about that, guys. We're going to leave y'all on that. We'll be back again for the Zoom at 12 p.m. You could go to jbmlegacy.com to register for the Zoom and get the link. Yeah, it's first come, first serve. It fills up at 100. After 100, can't get in. So show up on time or early. All right, guys. Have a good day. We'll see y'all later. Ta-ta for now.
See you guys.